Let's talk about some crochet patterns, y'all. Hello everyone, Rochelle here, and I'm back to share some yarn goodness with you all today. So today it is all about the crochet. We are going to be talking about some of the latest crochet patterns that came out last month in August. And so these are going to be new patterns and they're going to be free patterns. So that's a lot of fun. And these patterns are going to include garments, accessories, things for the home, and we're just going to go through all of those. And all of these patterns, as I mentioned, are free. Now, some of them are available as a free download, and others are available free on the designer's website. So you would have to go through their blog to see the free pattern. Okay, so let's get started with garments. The first one that I have is the Simple Shell that is designed by Linda Dean, and she designed that for Cascade Yarns. And so this pattern calls for a sport weight yarn, which we love, and the bust circumference ranges between 32 to 60 inches, and in centimeters that is 81 to 152 centimeters. So the hook size, of course, when I say hook size, it depends on if you match gauge and things like that, but I'll just be going by the recommended hook size. So the recommended hook size for this pattern is a 4mm, which is a G hook. And so in terms of skills that you'll need to know in order to make this, those skills include double crochet, single crochet, and the slip stitch. And so those are all pretty easy skills, and I think, you got this if you want to make this one. And another thing I wanted to note is that this garment is crocheted in panels, and you will have to sew them together. But I find that to be a lot. In a lot of crochet tops, there's going to be some seaming involved, but it's not that difficult. When it comes to seaming, I like to use stitch markers to kind of line up the panels first, and then I'll go in there and do like a matcher stitch or a whip stitch or something like that. But it helps to put those stitch markers in place first, and then do it that way. Okay, so up next we have the Tulip Square Summer Sweater, and that is designed by Wilmer Westenberg of Will Made. And so this pattern is a DK weight pattern, and the bust circumference is going to range between 38 to 62 inches, and that is 96.5 to 157.5 centimeters. And the hook size for this garment is a 4.5mm, and you'll also need a 6mm, which is a J hook. And of course, the 4.5mm doesn't have a letter assigned to it, so that's why we say it like that. Now, the skills that you will need to make this garment include single crochet in the back loop only, the V-stitch, and the puff stitch. And so, of course, if there's any skills or techniques that you're not familiar with, there's always YouTube. You can go there, check it out. I'm sure you can find a great tutorial on any of these skills. And so this sweater is made of squares and triangles, and then you join them together. So I think that could be like a really cool construction. After you finished everything, you finished the panels, you can put on some YouTube or audio book or podcast and just seam those squares and triangles together. So yeah, I would find that relaxing, as long as I haven't put my stitches too tight and it's too hard to sew together. But when it comes to crochet, I'm actually a very loose crocheter. So yeah, sometimes I have the opposite problem when it comes to seaming, because I'm such a loose crocheter, and I really have to make sure that my stitches are tight when I'm seaming them together. So let me know, are you a loose crocheter or are you a tight crocheter, or do you feel like you have really good in between tension? Let me know in the comments below. Okay, y'all. Next up, we have the Camellia Cardigan, and it is designed by Michelle Ferguson of Two Brothers Blankets. Now, this pattern calls for DK weight yarn. And the bust circumference is between 37.25 to 65.25 inches. And in centimeters, that's 94.6 to 165.7 centimeters. And so in terms of ease, this garment has between 3 to 4 inches of positive ease. And in centimeters, that is 7.6 to 10 centimeters of positive ease. And for me, I like that range. 4 inches of positive ease is a really good amount of ease for me. Not too much, not too little. So I really like that. Now, for this pattern, you will need an H hook, which is a 5mm crochet hook. And in terms of skills, you'll need to know double crochet, front loop only, and back loop only. So those are fun. And in terms of the cardigan, it is worked in 3 panels, and then you sew them together. And I really like those front pockets. Anything with pockets is amazing. To me, pockets are a must-have, so I love that. Okay, let's move on to the next one. We have the classic cape, and it is designed by Sylvia Tallow of Crazy Cool Crochet. So the yarn weight that is used for this one is a worsted weight yarn. And in terms of sizes, it ranges between a small all the way up to a 4X. And the hook sizes that you will need is a 4.25mm, which is also a G hook, and also a 5.0mm, which is an H hook. And so in terms of things you'll need to know how to crochet in the back loop only, single crochet, yarning over, and decreasing single crochet. So there's a few techniques you'll need to know there. Now this pattern was originally created in December 2021. However, back in August, a few weeks ago, the pattern was re-released, and basically it's just kind of better written. And so I think that's wonderful. And a few things that I in terms of notes that I made about this cape is that it does have an open front and it has an optional turtleneck. And I'm not much of a turtleneck wearer, but I think it's really cool. But you can style it and it kind of looks like a collar. So I really like that. And you can put buttons on the collar. So that's really cool. And also those arm slits. I love those arm slits, because one issue that I have with wearing capes is that I can't move my arms. And so to have one that has arm slits in it is really, really good. And this cape is made with one panel, and there's no decreases, there's no increases. So yeah, definitely check that out if you're interested in making a cape. Okay, next up we have the Maxine chevron skirt, and this is designed by Ashley Shoemaker of Heart Hook Home. I knew I was going to mess that up. Heart Hook Home. And the yarn weight that's used for this skirt is a sport weight, which is great. I have made worsted weight skirts in the past, and they look great, but they just feel so heavy. So to have one in sport weight would be really, really cool. So it is available in 11 sizes that range from 31.5 to 52.5 inches. And of course, that's your hip measurement that's referring to. And that is 80 to 133 centimeters. So in terms of ease, it is 2.5 inches or 6.4 inches. No, 6.4 centimeters of positive ease. So definitely check that out. And the hook size, it's a small hook size, y'all. It's a 3.0mm crochet hook. Now that is a small crochet hook, and I can just see hand cramping in my future. But anyway, the skills that you will need is the foundation, double crochet, and double crochet increase. So you're going to be, no, that's a decrease. So it is the double crochet 2 together. So that is going to be a decrease. And I would imagine that is to kind of shape the skirt, perhaps. I'm thinking that's what it's for. But yeah. simple stitches. The foundation double crochet or any sort of foundation stitch, I always have to go back and watch a YouTube video on how to do a foundation chain or foundation half double crochet. I can never memorize those, but yeah. And you know, that's what it's for. I've been crocheting forever, and there's still some stitches where I have to go on YouTube. I have to like relearn how to do the stitch. But yeah, you know, that's what it's there for, right? And this skirt, it is top down. Of course, how can you imagine a skirt being crocheted bottom up? Like, is that a thing? I don't even know if that's a thing. But anyway, this skirt is crocheted top down. And so what I really like about that is you can stop crocheting the skirt at any length that you want. So, you know, maybe you want a knee length skirt. Maybe you want an ankle length skirt. You can stop crocheting when you feel like it. And I think that is wonderful about this pattern. All right, y'all, let's move on to accessories. Okay, so first up we have the neckerchief bow tie, and it is designed by Jess Crafting. And so this calls for a light fingering weight yarn, and it comes in one size. And so of course, it comes in one size, but like if you decide that you want to make it in a different weight of yarn, then of course it's going to be a little bit bigger. And so the hook size is a 2.5 millimeter. Whew, that's small. And the skills that you'll need to know are single crochet two together, and triple crochet. I love a good triple crochet. It's not a stitch that I get to do very often, but I don't know, I find doing the triple crochet a lot of fun. I really do. And yeah, so I really think that this bow tie scarf would be really cute as a scarf or as a hair accessory. Definitely as a hair accessory. As my locks continue to grow, I'm definitely looking for more hair accessories. And so, yeah, I think this would be a really good one. The brickwork slippers designed by Doriana Riviere of the Lavender Chair. I know I probably butchered that, but y'all know how I am by now, right? So this calls for an Aran weight yarn. And in terms of sizes, the size range between a US women's shoe size of 6.5 to 10 inches. And so when it comes to shoe size, I'm really not sure like how shoe sizes work around the world, but the pattern gives the measurements for a US women's shoe size. And so the hook size needed for these slippers is a I hook, which is a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook. And the skills you will need, let's see, there's quite a few actually. Single crochet, half double crochet, and front post double crochet. You will also need to know how to do a, single crochet 2 together, single crochet 3 together, half double crochet 2 together, half double crochet 3 together, and double crochet 3 together. Wow, that actually sounds like a lot of fun. I love when patterns use a lot of different stitches, and y'all, this one has a lot of stitches in it. I don't know, I think it's cool. And also I really like the design around the ankle section. I just think that's like really nice. Okay, so let's take a break from this and talk about what I am wearing. So this is the Saturday sweater that is designed by Tamara Kelly of Moogly. Now, y'all, I've done an entire video about this sweater, and I will link it below, so definitely go and check that out. But I absolutely love wearing it. And the yarn, it's like self-striping yarn, and so it looks different on the back, and sometimes I'll turn it around just to kind of show new colors in the front. But yeah, I really like it. It feels wonderful, and I definitely want to make another one. So let's jump back in it, and now we are going to talk a little bit more about some accessories. All right, so up next we have the Tipsy Granny zipper pouch. I love that name, Tipsy Granny. I don't know, that's just funny to me. But that is also designed by Tamara Kelly of Moogly. And the yarn weight it uses is Aran weight yarn. So that's a bit of a thicker weight yarn. And the size of the pouch is approximately 9.5 inches wide and 6 inches tall. So in centimeters, that would be 24 by 15 centimeters. And so the hook size used for this is a J hook, which is a 6mm crochet hook. And so to make this pouch, you will need to know how to crochet short rows, single crochet, back loop only, and single crochet 2 together. And so I'm trying to think if I've ever crocheted short rows. That would be something I'd really like to try. Yeah, I would love that. Have you all ever crocheted short rows? I would love to know. Okay, so now for this pattern was kind of like was yarn specific when it was created. So the yarn that she used was Red Heart Granny Square yarn. I've never used that yarn before, but it seems like it makes like I know it's supposed to make granny squares, but you can also use it to make other things. So that is the yarn that's used in the sample. But of course, I feel like any variegated or striped yarn would be just fine for this project. Okay, so let's move on to the tailor mittens. And this is designed by Rich Textures Crochet. And so this uses an Aran weight yarn as well. And the sizes that it comes in is an adult small, medium, and large. So lots of sizes. You can make them for your friends, your family, and they would make wonderful gifts. Okay, so the hook size you'll need for this one is a 5mm, which is an H hook. And so let's talk about the things you'll need to know to make this. Crocheting in the third loop. Okay, so up until last week, I had no idea what it meant to crochet in the third loop. But I'm currently working on a crochet project that uses that, and it was intimidating at first, but after like some really good YouTube tutorials, I was like, okay, this isn't too bad. But I will say when it comes to crocheting in the third loop, you want to watch your tension. Make sure your tension is loose, because when you go back for like the row after it, and you're trying to crochet into that third loop, you know, if you crochet it too tight, it's going to be really hard. And I know that only from experience. But some other skills that you will need for this particular pattern is, let's see here, back loop only, double crochet, and double crochet 2 together. So those are your other skills. And I really like those horizontal stitches. I think they're really cool. And then also the cuff ribbing. It looks knitted to me, which I personally really like when crochet and knit, you know, they're kind of using the same pattern. But this is crochet. It just looks knitted. I don't know. I think that's pretty cool. Okay, so let's talk about the Carter Granny Bag. And this is designed by Tony Lipsy of TL Yarn Crafts. And so this calls for Aran weight yarn. And I've noticed that a lot of the accessories use Aran weight yarn. I don't know what's up with that, but yeah, I've noticed that quite a bit. So this particular bag is designed in one size, and the dimensions is 16 inches across at the widest point. It is 12.5 inches long across the center. The handle is 1.7 inches wide and 23 inches long. So that's a nice handle size. And in terms of centimeters, it is 41 centimeters across at the widest point, 32 inches long across the center, and the handle is 4.5 centimeters wide and 58 centimeters long. So yes. Now, in terms of the hook size, it calls for a 4.5mm crochet hook. And in terms of skills, you will need to know how to, you will need to know how to not only make granny squares, but seam them as well. So yeah, you will need to know how to make granny squares. And you'll also need to know how to do color changes. So, how to bring in other colors of yarn to make those granny squares. And then also you will need to know how to crochet the thermal stitch. I have never crocheted thermal stitch, never heard of it. If you have ever done the thermal stitch, let me know. I've never heard of that in crochet. That'll be one more skill for me to learn. Like, I've been crocheting since I was a child, and it seems like I learn a new crochet stitch every day. I will never ever like completely master crochet because there's always going to be something new to learn. Okay, so let's move on to the Cordellis shawl by Expression Fiber Arts, and it uses fingering weight yarn. And the size, I'm going by the size that it's blocked. It's 31 inches long and 61 inches wide. So that scarf, that shawl is going to wrap around you and give you a hug. And I don't wear a lot of shawls, but if I do wear shawls, I really like the big ones. And so that is 79 centimeters by 155 centimeters. Okay, so now the individual hexagons, let's talk about the measurements of those. Each hexagon measures 6.5 inches by 6.5 inches. And in centimeters, that is 16.5 by 16.5 centimeters. Okay, so the hook size you will need is a 4mm G hook. And the skills that you'll need to know to make this shawl includes double crochet, half double crochet, and the magic ring. And there's also some seaming involved. So yeah, keep that in mind. And this pattern, okay, so this pattern, as I mentioned, is by Expression Fiber Arts. And it is only going to be available as a free download for a limited period of time. Okay, so let's talk about some patterns for the home. All right, so up first we have the Eleanor Grace blanket, and it is designed by Keely Lambert for Wool Warehouse. I buy a lot of yarn from Wool Warehouse. That's neat. I only recently realized that they had patterns. I don't know why. Okay, so this calls for bulky weight yarn. And in terms of the size of this blanket, it measures 58 by 48 inches. And in centimeters, that is 148 by 122 centimeters. And so the hook size is a 5.0 millimeter H hook. And so the pattern is written in UK terms, so keep that in mind. And so you will need to know how to double crochet, double treble crochet, and half treble crochet. So keep that in mind if you're outside the UK, if you're used to US terms, keep that in mind. These are UK terms, but they're easily convertible. Okay, so I just think this blanket would be super soft and super cozy. And yeah, I don't really crochet with Chanel yarn. Like, I don't know if I've ever crocheted with Chanel yarn, but it looks so cozy and so soft. But look, of course, you can use any bulky weight yarn you want, anything that's going to match gauge. All right, y'all. Next, we have the quick and easy coasters. And these are designed by Tiffany Griffin of Beautiful Dawn Designs. So this calls for Aran weight yarn. And the size of these coasters are approximately 5 inches. And in centimeters, that is 12.7. And so the hook size called for this is a G hook, 4mm. And in terms of the skills you'll need to make these coasters, it includes half double crochet, single crochet, and crocheting increases. And so I just think that these coasters would be like super, super awesome patterns for leftover yarn and quick gifts. And so, yeah, if you're looking for a quick gift that you can make, maybe like less than an hour, or you could just make them throughout the day. Definitely check out these coasters. All right, y'all. So what are some new crochet patterns that you found? I definitely want to continue to do this series. So maybe around October, like I'm trying to keep it to the first week. So maybe like in the first week of October, I'll do a crochet pattern roundup of September and just kind of keep that going so you all can know like the latest and greatest crochet patterns. And yeah, and so definitely take a look at that. And I know these patterns haven't been out for like a super long time, but let me know if you have crocheted any of these patterns. If you have plans to crochet these patterns, definitely let me know. And so, yeah, those are the patterns that I have for you today. Let me know what you worked on, or did you just chill? I always love reading you all's comments. I really do appreciate them. And thank you so much for clicking that like button and that notification bell. And if you would like to become a member of the channel, you can click the join button below. But yeah, thank you all so much. I'm trying to think. I have posted some more questions. In fact, I posted some more questions today on my YouTube community tab. So I would really like for you all to go over there and give me your opinions on different things going on in the yarn world, or, you know, different questions and things like that. And also, I do have a Ravelry wish list. And so if you would like to purchase a pattern for me, you can do so there. All right, y'all. And of course, as always, your biggest support for me is just watching my videos. And, you know, I really appreciate that. All right, y'all. Well, thanks for watching. And until next time, bye.